ẹ̀gbọ́n náà ṣé ẹ̀yin ò máa wo wípé kí ló kan DSS pẹ̀lú Awujale selection pé kí ni àwọn Awujale nominees lọ ṣe ń bẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀mi náà ṣe wò náà bí mo ṣe ń wò náà rèé o nígbà tí mo gbọ́ o but àwọn report tí mò ń gbọ́ nípa ẹ̀ ó wà conflicting ṣé mo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ń follow story yìí mo mọ̀ pé by now ẹ ti máa gbọ́ wípé Ogun State government wọ́n ti halt process yẹn kò ń ṣe pé wọ́n cancel ẹ̀ ò bí ìtàn ṣe ní December wọ́n cancel ẹ̀ wọ́n halt ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní àwọn petitions kan wà táwọn èèyàn ń kọ against the process yẹn right then wọ́n tún sọ wípé àwọn tún receive àwọn security reports kan so nígbà tí mo kà ń pa security reports mo wá wò pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣé títorí ẹ̀ lọ ṣe ní kí àwọn nominees yẹn lọ sí DSS office ni but later mo tún wá kà nínú newspaper pé rárá ara process yẹn náà ni pé kí wọ́n lọ ṣe bí profiling ní DSS office ṣé mo wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe bí security check wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ensure wípé àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ tán dupò àwọn tí wọ́n ń sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ jẹ Awujale yìí wọn kì í ṣe àwọn tí wọ́n ní criminal record ṣe ti understand so basically ìyẹn dàbí clearance ni nǹkan tí wọ́n lọ ṣe but nǹkan tí mo wá kà nínú newspaper ni wípé nítorí Ogun State government ti halt process yẹn that àwọn DSS náà wọ́n choose láti má ṣe profiling yẹn mọ́ lónìí kò ń ṣòní nìkan o in fact mo gbọ́ wípé wọ́n different days ni wọ́n fún different nominees that àwọn ẹlòmíì gan tó wà overseas wọ́n ti dé láti fún profiling tó fẹ́ ṣe ní ọ̀dọ̀ DSS yẹn but fídíò kan wà tí mo tún fẹ́ kẹ́ gbọ́ àbí kẹ́ wò má nìyẹn wọ́n pè wọ́n ní bàbá Jẹ́gilégbò if I'm correct lórí Facebook right I think it's on YouTube as well bàbá má yẹn Ìjẹ̀bú-Òde gangan ni wọ́n wà so lónìí àwọn lọ sí DSS office wọ́n dẹ̀ explain nǹkan tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ fún wa you understand ṣùgbọ́n report tàwọn ó wà conflicting ó yàtọ̀ sí nǹkan tí àwọn newspaper ń kọ síta so torí ẹ̀ ni mo ṣe wò ó pòkè mo fẹ́ kẹ́yìn náà gbọ́ nǹkan tí àwọn sọ mi wá mọ̀ o bóyá ìtàwọn report yẹn ni tòótọ́ o àbí ìtí newspaper report o but tẹ́ bá ti wo fídíò yẹn tán mo máa ka nǹkan tèmi kà ní newspaper and you know newspaper tí mo kà Tribune mo kà The Nations mo kà a lot of newspapers actually and similar thing ló report ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tí màá yìí sọ ó yàtọ̀ sí nǹkan táwọn kọ but ẹ gbọ́ ná màá rí yín on the other side.
A kú ojúmọ́ o gbogbo olólùfẹ́ Jàgílégbò nílé lóko lẹ́yìn odi níbí báyìí la wà ní ààfin Awujale ti Akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú tí ẹ bá wo ààfin náà ẹ rí i pé ààfin náà ti wà ní títìpa kò sí ẹnikẹ́ni tó ń wọlé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò sí ẹnikẹ́ni tó ń jáde tí a bá sì ní ká rìn síwájú ká wọnú gbọ̀ngàn ibi tí a ti máa ń ṣe ayẹyẹ ọdún ojúde ọba a rí i pé ibẹ̀ wà ní ṣíṣí o bẹ́ẹ̀ ni à ń rí àwọn èèyàn nínú gbọ̀ngàn náà ní ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan èjèèjì à ń rí àwọn ọmọ ọba kọ̀ọ̀kan nínú gbọ̀ngàn náà dájúdájú ó fi ń yé wa wípé ó ṣeé ṣe kí nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ níbẹ̀ lónìí o àmọ́ èrò náà ò tí ì ya bìbà ní bá a ti ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ní inú gbọ̀ngàn yìí ìròyìn tó ń tẹ̀ wá lọ́wọ́ ni wípé wọ́n ní kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yìí máa lọ sí DSS office láti lọ bá wọn níbẹ̀ a wà ní DSS office báyìí ibẹ̀ la wà báyìí láti wò wípé kí ni ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà tá a débí a rí wípé àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò DSS nínú nǹkan tí a gbọ́ wípé kí àwọn ọmọọba tó jáde kí wọ́n tọwọ́ bọ̀wé a lè sọ pé ìyẹn náà jẹ́ ìlànà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba tíjọba náà gbé lẹ̀ pé ókè o gbogbo àwọn ọmọ oyè tó bá sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ díje dupò bóyá kí wọ́n wá tọwọ́ bọ̀wé fún ìdí kan àbí èkejì èwe tí àwa kò mọ̀ àmọ́ ó yé ìjọba ju àwa lọ òun ni ẹ̀ ń rí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ọba tí wọ́n ń bọ́lẹ̀ ní ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan èjèèjì tí wọ́n sì ń wọ inú ilé lọ́dọ̀ wọn DSS láti lọ fi orúkọ wọn sílẹ̀ àti gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó bá béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn láti dá wọn lóhùn gbogbo ọmọ ọba ni ẹ̀ ń rí pátápátá àwọn tó wá láti ìlú òyìnbó gbogbo wọn ti balẹ̀ sí bíbà yìí bíbà wọ́n sì ti ń wọlé ní ẹyọ kọ̀ọ̀kan láti máa fi gbogbo àwọn ìbéèrè wọn tí àwọn DSS ń béèrè láti máa fi sílẹ̀. Tí ẹ bá ń rí wọn, gbogbo àwọn ọmọọba ni wọ́n ń bọ́lẹ̀ pátápátá ní ẹyọ kọ̀ọ̀kan tí wọ́n sì ń wọlé. Ó ṣeé ṣe bóyá lẹ́yìn tí àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò DSS bá ṣe iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ wọn tán, bóyá a tún gbé ìgbésẹ̀ láti ọ̀dọ̀ wọn afọbajẹ. Àmọ́ ní èyí tí a tún gbọ́ pé wọ́n ní pé ní ọwọ́ tí a wà yìí, kí àwọn afọbajẹ kí wọ́n sì dáwọ́ dúró ná, kí àwọn DSS kí wọ́n ṣe iṣẹ́ wọn. Ó ṣeé ṣe lẹ́yìn tí àwọn DSS bá ṣe iṣẹ́ wọn, bí orúkọ tí wọ́n ń gbà sílẹ̀ tán, àwọn afọbajẹ wọn á tẹ̀síwájú nípa iṣẹ́ wọn. Ìjẹ́bú-Òde la wà ní DSS office. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sílùú Ìjẹ́bú-Òde lórí ètò ọba Awùjalẹ̀ tí gbogbo akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú náà la ṣe wà lórí ẹ kú ojú lọ́nà.
Ó dáa náà, ẹ káàbọ̀. Ẹ̀yin náà ṣáà rí wípé nǹkan tí àwọn ń sọ ni pé wọ́n sì go ahead pẹ̀lú profiling yẹn, but nǹkan tí The Nation's newspaper ń kọ fún èmi ó yàtọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n kà á nínú ibẹ̀ náà. One of the Department of State Services, DSS, Ogun State Command, has invited nominees for the stool of the Awujale of Ijebuland for screening, even as the Ogun State government has again suspended the selection process. Well, I guess we understand what I mean by again, but I guess eléyìí suspension is different from cancellation. The previous one was actually cancelled and they restarted the process, but eléyìí wọn ti sọ fún wa bóyá wọ́n máa restart the process yẹn or bóyá wọ́n máa continue after tí wọ́n bá ṣe whatever it is tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe tó jẹ́ kí wọ́n cancel it. Now, ẹ jẹ́ kí n kà tán ní the state government in a circular dated January 20th àná placed the process on hold for the second time. Governor Dapo Abiodun's administration had earlier altered the process on December 18th, 2025, citing procedural errors. On January 6th, 2026, the government directed the Fushegboa ruling house to resume the process and conclude it within 14 days. However, just as the Awujale kingmakers were set to select one candidate from the 95 nominees, the state government again suspended the exercise through a letter dated January 2026, citing security concerns and the need to protect the integrity of the traditional stool. One of the nominees told the nations that they were invited to appear before the DSS office in Ijebu-Ode on Wednesday, the same day and time they were expected to be at the palace. Okay, so ní palace ó yẹ kán lọ fún bí meet and greet, because you know the Awujales they also need to meet the nominees in person, because mo ṣì máa kà í tó kù ẹ má bínú, because I just don't want to forget this part. Now, ṣé mọ̀ pé 14 days tí wọ́n fún àwọn Fushegboa family yẹn, àwọn ti ṣe tiwọn, wọ́n ti mú àwọn èèyàn, kò ṣe pé wọ́n shortlist wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ náà, basically bóyá wọ́n lè yọ kàndá nínú ìrẹsì, bóyá àwọn tó fẹ́ ṣàtàwọ̀ nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. So at the end of the day wọ́n wá ní 95 nominees, so gbogbo 95 nominees yẹn wọ́n ṣe profile wọn. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá follow process yìí ẹ máa rí pé ní ọjọ́ Monday, ní ọjọ́ tó pé 14 days yẹn, a rí àwọn family Fushegboa yẹn ní Palace Awujale pẹ̀lú àwọn afọbajẹ níbi tí wọ́n ti lọ present list àwọn candidate yẹn fún wọn. So níbẹ̀ náà a rí pé wọ́n gbé àwọn Ghana must go kan wọlé. Àwọn Ghana must go yẹn, àwọn profile àwọn ọmọọba yẹn ló wà ńbẹ̀. Wọ́n ṣe, wọ́n sparaband ẹ̀, wọ́n gbé fún wọn. So ẹ mọ̀ pé long process ni, wọ́n máa kà á lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan, wá wo profile wọn, wá ṣe oríṣiríṣi kó tó yan èèyàn. So now kó tó máa ṣe yẹn, bóyá wọ́n máa ṣe bí interview fún wọn, right? So wọ́n wá ní káwọn ọmọọba yẹn kí wọ́n wá fún bí a meet and greet, just to meet them in person. Èní dẹ̀ ló yẹ kí wọ́n lọ fún meet and greet yẹn, but èní náà ló yẹ kí wọ́n tún lọ sí DSS. Mi mọ̀ bó ṣe ṣe tí kinní yẹn fi clash, ṣé you understand? Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tó wá dànà ni government tún wá kọ lẹ́tà, lọ́ wá ń cite security concerns, lọ́ ń cite pé àwọn petitions kan wà táwọn èèyàn kan kọ pé so kí wọ́n halt process yìí. ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tí bàbá Jẹ́gilégbò ń sọ ni pé àwọn DSS ṣì continue nǹkan táwọn fẹ́ ṣe, but the Nation's newspaper ń report otherwise. So ẹ jẹ́ kí n máa kà lọ. Now, only a correspondent of the Nation cited several nominees entering the DSS location at Igbeba GRA opposite the NTA office in Ijebu-Ode. A close source to the DSS disclosed that the invitation was for profiling purposes. The source added that individuals required by the Fushegwa ruling house were expected to participate in the palace process, noting that those currently needed were at the palace for screening by the kingmakers. Okay, mo understand. Kò ń ṣe kó clash. Ṣé mọ̀ pé èyí tó fẹ́ ṣe ní DSS yẹn wọn ò lè lọ lọ́jọ́ kan náà, right? Different days ni wọ́n fún wọn. Gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́yìn náà ṣe gbọ́ ní ìgbà tí bàbá Jẹ́gilégbò sọ, right? Different days ni wọ́n fún wọn. So àwọn tó máa lọ sí palace náà different days ni wọ́n fún wọn, and obviously àwọn èèyàn tó bá máa lọ sí palace ọjọ́ mi ni wọ́n máa fún. Ọjọ́ tó máa fún èèyàn tó máa lọ sí tó máa fún èèyàn tó máa fi lọ sí palace ó máa yàtọ̀ sí ọjọ́ tó máa fún ẹ̀ tó máa fi lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn DSS. So wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe báwo la ṣe sọ náà, wọ́n fẹ́ máa ṣe pọ̀ ni, ṣé you understand, but wọ́n á kàn fún wọn different days. Honestly, I feel like nǹkan tí bàbá Jẹ́gilégbò sọ may not be the true picture. I think I'm beginning to believe what the Nation's newspaper, many of these newspapers, including Vanguard, tí wọ́n report. But jẹ́ kí n máa kà á lọ ṣá. It is important to clarify that the exercise was not placed on hold for the DSS or any security agency, right? Rather, the state government, through an official circular already in the public domain, directed that the exercise be suspended. All right. Ṣé mo pé àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ lọ rí àwọn afọbajẹ yẹn ní palace lónìí, right? Wọ́n wá gba lẹ́tà pé wọ́n ní kí wọ́n keep on hold because of security concerns. But àwọn kan wá rò pé DSS, torí pé wọ́n fẹ́ lọ sọ́dọ̀ DSS ni wọ́n ṣe ní kan stop ẹ̀. So nǹkan tí wọ́n ń sọ ń bì báyìí nìyẹn. Ó lè jẹ́ pé wọ́n gbọ́ pé àwọn kan fẹ́ lọ protest níbẹ̀ yẹn lónìí. Ṣé understand? So tí wọ́n bá provide adequate security fún wọn, in fact nǹkan tí mò ń rò pé ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn. Kò ṣe pé wọ́n ò ní cancel process yìí. Wọ́n kàn máa provide adequate security so that ọjọ́ tó bá máa lọ yẹn kò ní sí pé bóyá wàhálà máa lọ ṣẹlẹ̀. Ṣé mo pé àwọn kan wọ́n fẹ́ foment trouble, wọ́n máa fẹ́ lọ síbẹ̀. Ẹ dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé gbàgede ni wọ́n ti fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ gangan nìyẹn. Ṣé mọ̀ àwọn jàgídíjàgan yìí Ọlọ́run ni kó ṣàánú fún wa. I'm telling you that right now I'm beginning to think that the Ibadan system of wọ́n yanba may be the best, honestly, because ìyẹn kò sí wàhálà, kò sí jà, hierarchy by hierarchy ni. Ẹni tó máa jẹ next Olúbàdàn wọ́n ti mọ̀. Kò sí pé bóyá government interference kan wà ńbẹ̀, kò sí pé bóyá family kan èèyàn kan máa kọ̀ wá ó máa fẹ́ ṣàṣàwọ̀ wá sọ pé ọmọ ọba ni ẹ́, wọn ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ ẹ́ family. Anyway, you should also be aware that prior to the postponement of the screening of the nominees by the kingmakers, the nominees were expected to visit the DSS office for profiling. This profiling is a prerequisite for comprehensive vetting and involves filling out forms that provide information necessary to vet all communities involved. Okay, I think I will just take back what I said before. Tí government bá halt process nìyẹn, that of DSS only go ahead now. I mean, at least there shouldn't be any security concerns fún ti DSS kíní tó fẹ́ ṣe now. Àbí what do you guys think? Kò yẹ kán cancel yẹn náà bí bàbá Jẹ́gilégbò ṣe support. The nominees were the nominees were scheduled to come to the DSS office after the palace screening. Oh, after the palace screening. No, this is not true. Some of them were already at the DSS office now. Ṣáwọn yẹn ti lọ sí palace for screening. The exercise was planned to run over several days, covering all nominees. Invitations were duly sent to them through the palace secretary, requesting them to report to the DSS office for the profiling exercise. However, while the nominees were preparing to come, another circular was issued by the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, suspending all activities related to the Awujale succession. The circular, which is also in the public domain, cited several grounds necessitating government intervention. Consequently, the DSS has decided to suspend the planned vetting as well. Ṣé ti rí nǹkan táwọn ń sọ? Right? This explains why some of the nominees were seen around without the exercise proceeding. It is important to stress that the DSS should not be associated with any misinformation. Any report or public communication should clearly reflect that the suspension was a government decision, not an action initiated by the DSS. Misrepresenting this could lead to serious consequences. Quote, "We're not attempting to control anyone's narrative or suppress information. Our only concern is accuracy and the avoidance of misinformation. As professionals, once clarification is provided, it is expected to be respected." In summary, the stoppage of the exercise was a government decision, not one taken by the DSS, and there is no intention to gag the press or restrict lawful reporting, only to ensure that facts are correctly presented to the public. Meanwhile, armed security operatives drawn from the police, Department of State Service (DSS), Nigerian Security and Civil Defence Corps (NSCDC), Amotekun and So-Safe Corps were beefed up security along Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetono archway leading to the Ijebu-Ode Palace of the Awujale of Ijebuland over concerns that some powerful interests are alleged to have infiltrated the planned meeting of the kingmakers in a location within the facility, ostensibly to foist a candidate on them. The Fushegbua ruling house leaders, Otunba Lateef Adebayo Owoyemi Oloriebi, Prince Adejokun Ajidagba, Deputy Oloriebi, Professor Fasti Yusuf, Vice Chairman, and others had on Monday, January 19th, submitted the list bearing names of the 95 nominees candidates to the kingmakers who were expected to meet at the palace to begin the process of selecting one candidate out of the 95 nominees, but security operatives were sighted manning the entrance. A letter by the Ogun State Ministry of Local Government. Okay, okay, kíní náà ilé àti kọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ àti kálẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. Oh, okay, let's read the letter. Wọ́n ní okay, let's read the letter. Wọ́n ní Honourable Ganiu Hamzat, Honourable Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, who signed the letter and addressed it to the Ijebu-Ode Local Government Chairman, cited security concerns and the need to protect public order and the integrity of the stool as a reason for the decision. State government had received several petitions reporting from and reports from ṣé mo ti kà á lè tẹ́lẹ̀ kí ló tán tuntun kọ báyìí ẹ jẹ́ kí n ka letter. I write in respect of the ongoing process for the selection of a new Awujale of Ijebuland. If you're aware, the Awujale stool is a foremost stool in Yoruba land generally and in Ogun State particularly, where it is one of the paramount stools. Furthermore, the stature of the immediate past Awujale, Oba Sikiru Adetono, who reigned for 65 years, significantly enhanced the modern esteem and prestige of the stool. These realities place a lot of focus, attention, and scrutiny on the next Awujale and the process by which he emerges. In this regard, the state government has received several petitions, reports from security agencies and other key stakeholders in relation to the ongoing selection process. In order to maintain public order and protect the integrity of the process and maintain the veneration of the stool, it has become imperative to halt the selection process for the stool at this time. In taking this decision, the government has had due regard to the provisions of the Oba's Chief's Law of Ogun State 2021, which empowers it to set aside an appointment of if the Executive Council is satisfied and that it is in the interest of peace, order, and good government to do so. Thus, given the reports at its disposal, the government has elected to act proactively without further delay in the interest of peace, order, and good government by halting the process in its entirety. Therefore, the state government hereby directs that you convey this decision to the Awujale Kingmakers Council and the Fushegbuwa ruling house immediately. The latter particularly should be advised to await further directives regarding the selection process. Anyway, òun nìyẹn ṣá, mo ṣáà ti kà á dé ibì kan, mi ìfẹ́ àwọn míì tún wà ńbẹ̀ náà, but ẹ má jẹ́ ká lọ sínú yẹn at the moment, but nǹkan tá a gbọ́ nísìnyí nìyẹn. I don't know if I should believe the report of the nations wípé wọ́n ti halt processing or ká believe nǹkan tí bàbá Jẹ́gilégbò ń sọ, but whichever it is ṣá, the most important thing ni pé kí wọ́n yan Àwùjalẹ̀ as soon as possible, because tí wọ́n bá ń continue láti máa stretch kìíní yìí, I am afraid that court case máa kàn máa halt ẹ̀ ni, court case máa yapa, court case máa yapa, ó máa yapa, because àwọn people yìí wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe o. Ọba Awùjalẹ̀ yẹn 65 years ni bàbá yẹn reign o, and nínú 65 years yẹn àìmọye amendment ni wọ́n ti ṣe sínú law. So ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń rí bí afọbajẹ lónìí yẹn, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn gan tó bá wà láyé nígbà yẹn, right, wọ́n ń ṣara àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n participate nínú process yẹn. So the process is new to them. That's one. Of course, amendment ti wà nínú process yẹn, but apart from pé bóyá amendment wà ńbẹ̀, the truth is that because that throne is very prestigious, àwọn èèyàn kan wà, àwọn interest kan wà tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa yọjú ni, and whether we like it or not, wọ́n láti put gbogbo ẹ̀ náà into consideration. But nǹkan tèmi gbọ́ for now nìyẹn. A lot of people have been fingering King Wasiu Ayinde. Ṣé mọ̀ pé àwọn náà wọ́n ti competition tó ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì àbẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta ń sìn, ó ní kan tó kọ 2 weeks ago. I think that will be like 2 days after tí local government fún àwọn Fushegbuwa family ní go ahead. Wọ́n kọ petition kan. Ó ní kan tí mo tún rí tán tí wọ́n tún kọ bóyá ọjọ́ Monday àbí nǹkan kan ló tún kọ yẹn ṣá. So àwọn náà kọ petition púpọ̀, ṣùgbọ́n àwọn nìkan kọ́ o. Mo kà á somewhere pé petition tí wọ́n ti kọ lórí kíní ó ti tó 16. So because of the number of petitions, government ò ní choice other than kí wọ́n halt process, kí wọ́n wo some of the things táwọn èèyàn yẹn ń complain pa, bóyá òótọ́, bóyá kíní yẹn bóyá ó make sense àbí kò make sense. Ṣé you understand? Kó má lọ jẹ́ wípé wọ́n máa yan ọba tán, wọ́n wá tún gbé wọn lọ sí court, wọ́n wá lọ yọ ọba lórí ìtẹ́, ṣé wọ́n pé yẹn ò ní dáa. So ara ìdí tí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe nìyẹn. Like èmi kàn ń sọ tèmi ni o, other people náà ní oríṣiríṣi nǹkan tí wọ́n ń sọ o. But for now, èmi ní nǹkan tèmi mọ̀ èmi máa sọ. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what I don't know. But màá rí yín lọ́la. I think there's one other thing that I want to say, but mi fẹ́ kó wà nínú fídíò yìí ṣá. Màá rí yín lọ́la. Ó dàbọ̀.